Go. Hi, this is our podcast, and we're talking about our Human Connection Project. I'm Ritika.
I'm Zoha.
I'm Alejandra.
I'm Ray.
So we're going to start with the first story, which is my story. And I'm going to talk about being overshadowed and feeling compared to other people. Have any of you guys ever had similar experiences like this?
Oh, yeah.
My experience started in 6th grade when I began to take dance a lot more seriously and was competitive about it and felt overshadowed by older rivals for me. And slowly I just began to worsen, and I felt really bad whenever that happened to me. And but over time I grew out of it and began to realize that I should dance for myself and not to impress others.
Yeah. Being the middle child in a family of 5, I've definitely been overshadowed a lot. You know, you get compared to your older sibling because they're so perfect, and then your younger sibling, it's just gets away with whatever, and you kind of get sandwiched in the middle.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I agree with that because I feel also being born in our generation where there's so many more opportunities. I feel you can be compared to a lot of the people who are accomplishing so much more than us at this point in time, and how many more opportunities there are for us to succeed, and how many more availabilities we can look forward to. So I feel I agree.
Yeah. You know, I'm the younger sibling of the house, and my brother, I get compared to him often because he did really good in high school. So, I'm expected to do as well or even better than him. So, I just get compared a lot.
All right, let's move on to Zoha's topic next.
Okay, so my topic was all about facing insecurities and getting over them. So basically, in 7th grade, we had this whole quarantine with COVID where we were out for almost a year. And so basically, after quarantine, I was planning, when we go back to school, I was planning to start wearing hijab. I was planning to do a lot of stuff that drastically changed my appearance. And also, I didn't have a phone at the time, so I had no way of connecting with people. So it was kind of just a self-isolation kind of thing. And it made me feel a lot more insecure than I normally would. And so coming back to school, it was oh my gosh, all of these people are gonna be all weird to me because we haven't talked in a while. We're not gonna get along, and
Yeah,
So,
I think I definitely faced something similar during that time of quarantine as well, where we went into isolation, and I looked at myself every day, and I'm I wonder how people outside of my house are gonna perceive me when I actually get back into the real world, when I take off my mask. I was how am I gonna feel? How are other people gonna feel when they look at me?
Yeah, I definitely agree because being away for almost 2 years is a lot of time where people can mature and just change the way they express themselves. And I feel throughout that time all of us changed in some sort of way, and we all faced some sort of abnormality or fear maybe of returning to school, seeing what people would think of us, going through that whole kind of judgment phase over again.
Yeah, for me, I felt my whole concept of time changed a lot. It really changed. Time was going by really fast for me, and I also changed. It was the years where I was a teenager, so I changed, and it was just a lot for me to take in, and I became insecure. And I think we all experienced that.
Mm-hmm. All right, we'll move on to Ray's topic next.
Alright, so
Yeah, Ray, can you start us off with your story?
yeah. So my topic was living something I love because of higher expectations. In my case, it was societal kind of standards. So the thing is, I used to play piano since 1st grade, really long time. I was in love with it,
Mm-hmm.
and I can hear my voice.
It's okay, keep talking.
Yeah. So then I it was 8th grade year after COVID, and 8th grade is kind of the year where you're you're on the verge of being a child, and then also growing up, going into high school, discovering your future and everything. So one of my friends were oh yeah, I got basketball, I got this, blah 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 blah, right? So they had opportunities, and I had piano. So, the thing is, I don't really use piano only for like enjoyment. So I asked my teacher how can I use it to like impress colleges, and I got into this program. So the thing is, after that, I kind of just started playing piano because for college instead of me like loving it. So I ended up hating piano for a bit. Like I just stopped practicing overall because I didn't enjoy it anymore.
Mhm.
So I just kind of stopped playing because I lost my love for it because I was doing it because of societal standards to like stick out to colleges because I was underneath that pressure, you know. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That makes
I definitely like kind of connect to that because like being with swim, it's like going like up like against different people and like having that like competition like in the back of your mind, like always thinking that you like need to have this certain like standard. I definitely agree that like it can like take your passion and like dream of just having fun like with it, and like it can turn it into kind of like a toxic relationship with the sport or like the activity.
Yeah, and especially like we see so many people like online and everywhere just kind of with their entire future figured out, and then you get like all this newfound pressure to just be really, really perfect, be really on it about like what you're gonna do, how you're gonna do it, and it just like becomes so overwhelming that you start to focus on the wrong things. Like instead of doing stuff because you like it, you start doing it because it'll help you or it'll be better for you.
You stop doing stuff to like for yourself, and you start doing stuff for others, and it's just like you end up hating the most like extracurriculars you do and everything.
Yeah.
So I think that's just generally a problem. All right, that was really good. Hunter, you want to share your story next?
Sure. So basically, my story is about kind of like how people in general can like assume wrong things about others. So like my story starts when I was in like middle school, and I had this friend, and we were assigned a project in science class, and when we turned it in, me and my friend both got 100%, but like I could see in my mind, I thought his project didn't have enough effort, it like didn't deserve his grade. And then I went to go talk to my teacher and asked him, like, if I put this much work into, like, my project, how come I got the equivalent grade as him? And then, like, she explained to me, like, he, like, doesn't have time at home to, like, work on the project like he did because of other obligations, such as looking over siblings and stuff. And then that, just like that, one fact, like, kind of, like opened my eyes to see, like, not a lot, even in a close relationship, there's definitely going to be some things that are taken from the other person. That's kind of just like how it is until like you get that really firm, close relationship. So it's kind of like not okay to say things. And even myself, I was assuming things like about people like when I didn't even really know their background. And I feel like it's just, I don't know if this makes sense, but like it's like not like right generally to like assume things unless like you know it's true or like you have like I guess evidence that like it's true. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah.
No, yeah, it makes sense because like a lot of the times it'll happen with you and you'll be like, oh my god, that's so wrong. But then you don't realize that subconsciously you're doing it to others. And I feel like a lot of the times, especially in like close friend groups, you might talk about someone without like knowing that like them actually like a lot of the times it'll be true, but like a lot of times like it's just a subconscious action. So like it's not right.
Yeah.
If you want to say it like that.
And I think also being on the other end of like someone assuming something about me is like I know like in general just assuming stuff, making assumptions, all that stuff is really bad because it can lead to like rumors and everything and just like generally like worse in like you see the person as a worse person.
Yeah, and I it really does.
Yeah, I also like. It's also like really nice that no, it's just that like Hunter's teacher like like explained it to him instead of just like saying like you know he just deserves it instead of like giving an explanation. You know, it's just like a learning moment. You know.
Yeah, because that like really
like if you don't have like kind of like a reason to base your ideas off of, it can be kind of like, oh, like should I really put this much effort into this? Like that kid can get the same grade. But like the fact that it kind of helped me like see like, well, like someone else's best work may not be equivalent to yours, but like it's still their best work, you know?
Right, and it's like
And like,
she helped you actually understand that instead of like shunning you from what actually happens in people's
Right.
lives.
exactly, there's so many people out there who just be like, no, that's the way it is, and then you just get this warped thinking of like, oh my god, you know what? If they're not doing their best based on like what you think their best is, then maybe if I don't give my best, I can still get the same grade, and it kind of just affects it for the rest of your life. Like, now you're gonna stop giving your 100% into like whatever you're doing, and you're gonna just be bad. Like,
Exactly.
it's not gonna help anyone.
Okay.
Exactly, yeah.
So, we have a few questions to ask about our stories. So, one of the leading questions is who or what was the biggest factor who contributed to your bad feelings? So, I'll start. The biggest factor who contributed to my bad feelings was actually myself because I was the one comparing myself to other people all the time. And I think the person who helped me was my mom the most, and just like my parents and people around me in general, because they showed me that it really wasn't like you are your own person and you shouldn't be trying to be like anyone else, and you should like focus on bettering yourself rather than comparing yourself to others and trying to be more like them. So, yeah.
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 I think that's nice. Oh, go ahead.
Okay. It's the same for me because, like, for my story too, it was kind of the biggest contributing factor to whatever I felt. I was just being too hard on myself and kind of overthinking every simple thing, which just like ended up becoming so much of a bigger problem than it actually should have been. And like looking back, it looks so stupid, but like when you're actually like going through it, it seems very like probable.
Yeah, I agree because like I feel like there's certain things that like we can do to ourselves that we wouldn't do to another person. Like I feel like we treat ourselves
Like
we're harder
than regard on other people because
Yeah,
we
like,
expect
you
better of ourselves.
Yeah, you wouldn't say like, oh, you did so bad on that project to someone else, but like if you got a bad grade, you'd probably like say that, oh my gosh, I did so bad. Like I feel like we're just naturally like programmed to think negative, especially to ourselves, and like it's like a hard thing to change, but like we have to like work on it, I guess.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, for me, my like biggest factor in feelings and everything was, I think my. I'm not sure though because I'm still trying to think about it because I feel like at the same time it was also like the standards that colleges, keep you at, where like if you want to get into a really good college, you have to have something really good on your application. So I feel like that also was just pressuring me kind of, and also the fact that I was like growing up too, because like time went by really fast after COVID. Like my whole like concept of time was like changing because like after COVID, time was going by like really fast, So.
Mhm.
I don't know. I feel like there are many factors that, made me feel how I was feeling at that time. And I think the person who helped me out the most was my dad. He said some inspiring words to me to help me get out of this, like, I don't know how to explain it, this, like, part of my life where I just felt no motivation to play piano.
Like a mindset.
Yeah, no, because, like, for me, it was definitely my parents, too, that helped me. They gave me great advice. Just, like, in general, it was not, like, one little piece of advice that kind of stuck with me. It was just, like, them being supportive and being like, oh, okay, whatever, like, you have with yourself. And, like, I don't think I ever openly just told them, like, dumped on them about whatever I was feeling. But, like, they did give me the advice that, like, if you were another person, and you would be friends with yourself, then you had nothing to worry about. But if you were like someone else and you decided you wouldn't be friends with yourself, it was a big problem that only you can fix. And so I kind of think like it really gave a different perspective because I was being so hard on myself and blah, blah, blah. And then now I just get this advice that like shows me that it's not I can't control everything. So,
definitely agree. Cause like I feel like certain things like aren't in our like control, and certain things like if we want to express ourselves in a certain way, I feel like it shouldn't be up to other people to like scare us out of that or something. And I feel like just like doing it for yourself is more important than doing it for others, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah, and I feel like we all can connect to that in some way. Just like instead of giving into whether it be like societal standards or just in anyone else's views, you should like really focus on being your own person
Yeah.
because everyone has their like personal struggle, and so you can't ever like base yourself off of anyone else because you just haven't had the same experiences or anything the same as anyone else.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so for me, I guess to just finish, the person who I think we kind of already talked about this is probably my teacher, because like if someone hides something from you, it's kind of like you want to know more about it, and like if you, it almost could lead to like experimenting that can turn into wrong. Like if I'm like not to put in my best effort in something or something, but like the fact that my teacher expressed the reason behind like her grading system and all of that kind of like showed me, kind of humbled me, and like showed like not everyone's the same. You can't like expect everyone to express themselves the same way, and their best effort, like you know, like I said, may not be the exact same as yours, but it's what they can do and it's what they're capable of, and we should respect that, you know.
Mhm.
Definitely, yeah.
All right. Do you guys want to move on to like the human connection questions?
Sure.
Okay.
Oh, sure.
So, how does human connection help us?
I think,
Yeah.
I think like in our like resolutions, we had someone who helped us through it all, like a parent, a teacher, just in general. I think human connection helped us get through all our struggles.
Right, and I think
Yeah.
just talking it out in general, just like talking about your problems, letting people know what happened in your day, what's going on. I think that in general just really helps people like connect to others and like vent out what went wrong and just like lets them unbottle up their emotions kind of.
Yeah, and I feel like it's kind of scary sometimes to think about like if you're like guide you and like kind of like listen to you. It's kind of scary to think that like eventually at some point in your life you may be like alone, and like it could be like tempting to just like give up because like there's no one there. So it can be kind of scary sometimes too.
I feel like the entire point we can communicate with each other is so that we can actually talk when we need it. And so it's kind of dumb to think that like, no one's there for me or no one's gonna be there for me. Cause like, as I was saying, it was like really dumb to think that like there's gonna be no one out there for you. Cause everyone can either just listen at least if they care about you, or they could, like give you some advice because they do have a mouth and ears, and I feel like there is some kind of purpose to it.
Yeah, like they all have a mind. They can like give you, even if they don't like feel like comfortable giving like their own advice. Just listening like almost is like enough to like at least let it out, and then like know someone can understand your pain or like
Exactly.
Right. I don't know, however it is.
And I feel like just talking is better than letting it out, like bottling it up and then letting it out in like some wrong situation. Because then that's where you get all these like you go into anxiety and kind of stuff. Because like you'll be in a very important part of your life and everything just like kind of bursts open, and then you end up ruining something because you have been like holding everything inside, and then everything just comes out.
Yeah, and I think that can definitely happen with like friendships too, because like if someone like you're good friends with someone, but like you don't talk to anyone about like if you have an issue, you may like unintentionally like get upset or do something wrong to them that you really didn't mean to do, but it was because like you have no one else to like I don't know, unleash like on your rage.
Yeah. You know, it's like I feel like there's like a really big reminder that you're never alone and that it's okay to share things with people because it's just better for your mental health. And maybe it will comfort the other person too, who's thinking, oh, okay, so I'm not the only one that goes through that. You're never alone.
And that's why I think, I mean, we kind of answered the second question too. I mean, that's why it's so important to interact with others all the time and just like let them know what's going on and why you're feeling down today, maybe. And like, it's always good to talk to people you can trust and find people you can trust. It helps you like realize there's always going to be someone looking out for you, right?
Yeah, and like as Ray said, I can't there's so many times that I've been having someone about venting or whatever, and I realize all of a sudden that I'm not the only one who goes through things. And she's oh my god, okay, so that's not it's normal. Yeah, exactly. It can bring you to a sense of normality, not realizing you're not crazy or you don't yeah, and it makes you more comfortable just talking. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. I think we're gonna have to wrap it up because
We're going to the same school, so we're gonna have some overlapping experiences.
And all I feel of connection or similarity with others.
all right. Guys, I think we're gonna have to wrap it up, and our podcast is over 20 minutes, so let's. Yeah.
Made it this far, congratulations.
Thank dedicated.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening to us, and comment down below. Share your stories as well.
Yeah, please comment.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Comment. Bye. Bye.